Opie has decided to join us once again, and I know you know Sloth from other episodes of All Cooped Up, but Sloth has really had a hard time during quarantine. He's feeling very empty these days. So welcome to another episode of All Cooped Up. I don't know what quarantine day it is. It's really starting to all bleed together. So I just did a whiskey podcast with Fred Minnick not too long ago. And we discussed my favorite bourbons, my favorite whiskeys. And I told him I had written a song about one of my favorite bourbons. I almost said burdens. Same Freudian slip. And so I thought I would start with that. And I wrote this song with Terry Joe Box and a guy named Scotty. Oh no, I can't remember Scotty's last name. I only met him the one time. My first bourbon that I ever encountered was Elijah Craig 12 year. And at the time I was a beer drinker. And I was in Bardstown with this fella. And in my hotel room, they had given me a bottle of Elijah Craig 12 year. And I didn't have any beer to drink after the show. It was me and a buddy. And I thought, I'll just drink this. What harm could it do? So I took a drink of it and I was like, well, I've been missing out. Did a little research. Turns out the real Elijah Craig, the father of bourbon, was a preacher, which really hits home with me and I'm very at home with. So I sat down and kind of wrote a little bit about that. Half the county loved him, half the county judged him. Everybody knew Elijah Craig. He was handing out salvation, it was there for the taking. The sermon and the bourbon, they both hallelujah made. Elijah, Elijah, heaven or hell, where you wanna go? Elijah, Elijah, stomp the cap, save my soul. Got that fire burning, but a barn full of homemade sin went up in smoke. I heard Deacon Daniels mention it was divine intervention. They're running that devil whiskey, gonna get you run right out the boat. Elijah, Elijah, heading to hell where you wanna go. Himself a secret. Charred oak barrel was the best thing he'd ever made. He died alone, forgiven, the Mozart of the bourbon. And up on heaven hell, where they're calling out his name. Elijah, Elijah, heaven or hell, where we gonna go? Over here yawning the entire time. Clearly that song is riveting. He would actually rather lick his hindquarter than listen to me sing at this. He's hiding his nose under his tail. Fine. Also, I'm going to tune my guitar up here. This is a new house, and so I figured it was ant-proof, but I'm noticing right now in the pantry I'm being attacked by ants, and I can't even figure out what they're eating. I removed everything that was not in, like a container. So any advice on that besides ant poison, which I have out? You have to be careful with poison though, because animals. Okay, let's take some questions from the tribe. This is from Jamie. Do you ever miss the smaller dive bar kind of shows? I saw you a lot back then, and there's just something about them that is so magnetic. Yeah, I do, especially right now. I mean, I tell you what, right now, if I could drive to Bardstown, Kentucky and play Friday and Saturday night at the stables at Mammy's for 4 hours, I would absolutely do that right now. Now, granted, I'm probably a little rusty on some of my covers because I've spent the last 3 years doing nothing but our songs, which is probably a little bit of laziness on my part, but the short version of that answer is I definitely do miss the small dive bar kind of shows. And this question comes from Debbie. I was wondering how it makes you feel when a fan gets your autograph tattooed on them or gets any tattoo related to you on themselves. This is a little known fact, but I am completely against tattoos. Yeah, 100%. Ink, I believe your body is a temple and that you should decorate the walls. I love tattoos. I love all tattoos. So yeah, it's kind of weird when somebody decides to get my autograph tattooed to them because your autograph changes so much over time. But that's, you know what? That's like a moment. It's like a timestamp, a time capsule. So if it has to do with me, it's kind of a little weird, right? But it's also a really huge compliment. And I love all tattoos. Anything you decide to get tattooed to you, there is a reason, there is a story behind it. Our bodies become roadmaps of our decision-making skills. So I know some folks are like, I can't believe they did that. I think it's cool. Oh yeah, I was gonna do another tune. I called my mom the other day. Hi Mom, if you're tuned in. Welcome to All Cooped Up with the Trybe. And I couldn't remember one lyric to this song, and I knew that my mom would know it. I wrote this song when I was 14 or 15. I was on my grandparents' porch. They lived in an orange 70s model single wide mobile home. It was awesome. And gosh, I still remember how the shed smelled out back. It was so cool. Anyway, I started playing guitar on their porch when I was little bitty. I would play the Fly Swatter and make up songs. But I made this song up on their porch. I can't remember what guitar I had back then. I know it's still, yes I can. It was a Charvel, and Charvel I think is a bass company, but they had made this acoustic guitar. Now this was the first, besides the little 3/4 size guitar they got me when I was 9, this was my first full-size guitar that was mine. My mom let me play her Alvarez as I had started, getting a little longer and taller and able to hold the guitar safely. But they got me this little Charvel. It's still upstairs, and this song is called Now That I'm Gone. And I think it started the way it starts because there was nothing in 30 miles any direction from this little orange mobile home that I was sitting in. Watch me forget the line again and I'll have to call my mom. So if you're a young songwriter, or if you're new to songwriting or you're getting back into songwriting, you'll be able to tell that I was 14 or 15 when I wrote this song, and that's okay. Make sure you give yourself enough space to grow in all things. 30 miles from nowhere, and I'm sure getting there fast. Call my name, but I'm not there. I'm in pictures of the past. Wonder why you lost me. Well, I'm not sure myself. Driving down this old 2-lane road and I'm scared half to death. What do I do now that I'm gone? I'm wondering how I'll get along, leaving behind all of my dreams. My life was ripping at the seams. I had to leave, thought I'd be strong. What do I do now that I'm gone? Staring at these old yellow lines right in the face. And I'm not sure, but I think I'll be fine if things keep going my way. leaves to fall, and I'm not even blue. So what do I do now that I'm gone? I'm wondering how I'll get along, leaving behind all of my dreams. My life was ripping at the seams. I had to leave, thought I'd be strong. What do I do now that I'm gone? What do I do now that I'm gone? I ran out of air. So yeah, you can tell that I was 14 or 15. A couple of mistakes that I would have pointed out to myself. I would point out to myself later in life. And also, you could tell that I was really bluegrass influenced and really paying attention to how those walks worked and trying to use that as a melodic mechanic, which worked out. So let's take a couple more questions. Why am I sniffling again? I think I'm allergic to this, and I think it stinks really badly. You can have it back. Oh, wow. That is special. It smells like feet. A couple more questions. Let's see. This comes from Katie. Do you explore the cities you play in before your shows? Much love from Cincinnati. Big love back to Cincinnati. That's the hardest thing I think about touring, or maybe the most frustrating. It's not the hardest. The hardest thing about touring is peeing in a tour bus. The most frustrating thing is not being able to explore the cities that you're visiting. And Miranda Lambert says it best. I've been a lot of places. I just haven't got to see a lot of them. So we see the inside of the arena or the club. We see the inside of the bus. There's usually a hotel room. We all take turns. We all rotate out to go shower, and that's pretty much what we get to see, which is sad. There are some times where we get to maybe have half a day off or something, and we'll definitely go explore and see the sites that are there to be seen. But often we really don't get to see anything. What are your top 3 albums from other artists right now? And this is from Marissa, and Marissa's in Germany. Hi. You know, not a lot of new stuff has come out during quarantine. But Brandy Clark's record, Your Life is a Record, came out, a little bit before quarantine, and I still have not stopped listening to it. I've said it in, I don't know how many interviews while we've been doing the album release media stuff. Oh my goodness. Your Life is a Record is such a fantastic record. The song Pawn Shop, it blew me away. The song Bad Car blew me away. The song Strangers. I still wake up in the morning after, it's been over a month, 2 months. We struck out as lovers. We struck out as friends. Is it too much to ask? Can we be strangers again? It's so good. Other than that, I've been listening to a lot of Tyler Childers, which is a staple for me. I drunk downloaded a Tyler Childers record a few years ago, and it was the Purgatory record. I still listen to that record. Another record I still listen to all the time is Ryan Beaver, and the record is called Prescription, but it says RX, of course, on the title. That's another one that I downloaded a couple years ago, and I'm still turning to it right now. They're still staples for me. Oh, I don't know. I don't even care that I'm. No excuses. So that I got a request. Very rarely do I ever check my inboxes on Instagram or Twitter or anything like that. So it's not that I'm rude. I just don't ever check them. But this is from Kimberly. She had a request for this. Said she was just having one of those days. So now I haven't done this song since our live shows. Watch me screw this up. God, it's good to see you. I just got in. I got a lot of catching up to do. How the hell you been? Yeah, I saw pictures. The two of you all dressed up. I can't believe I'm gonna say this. You look so damn good in love. If you ever get tired of being happy, you know Maybe it's like a lullaby lulling him to sleep. Look at this. He's just not moving. Oh. Let's take some more questions. Let's see, where did I stop? Here we go. Oh, how did the real Sheila end up reacting to Shut Up Sheila? I don't know because I wasn't there that night, but I do know that the night the record came out, she did have a copy of the record. So her reaction probably, I hope it was good. I hope she was like, you got me, you got me. Or how did the girl you wrote Fat and Famous About react after you sang it at the reunion? There were several girls that reacted really interestingly at the reunion, and mostly it was like that. It was like, oh, that's Ashley, you got us. If you had a chance to sing with anyone that you haven't already sang with, who would it be? And this is from Helen. Wow, that's hard. I think that as a vocalist, as a performer, as an entertainer, that's what I should say, as an entertainer, I think singing with Willie Nelson would probably be the most nerve-wracking thing I could ever imagine. One time we were playing a show, we were opening for Willie, and Trigger, the guitar, was sitting between two curtains, you know how the wings are on a stage. And they had him sat over there so nobody would, walk past him too close. And I saw him, and I went and hid behind the other curtain. And my guitar player was with me, and he said, why are you hiding? Like, the guitar's going to see you? And I was like, yeah, but it's Willie Nelson's guitar. So we'll go with Willie Nelson on that. Let's see. I could probably grab, how much time do we have? Oh, we're doing fine. Yeah, I'll do this song. I don't know how old I was when I was writing this song. I had to be in my mid-20s, and for some reason I just wanted every chord in this song. Confession time then. Let's just, if we're going to be live with the Trybe and we're going to be all cooped up, let's be super honest. I used to co-write with myself a little bit, and this is going to sound strange, but I lived in the attic of this house, and I had a full-length mirror up there. And the attic was carpeted. It's not like it was like insulation or anything. It was finished. And I would write half a song, and then I would drink about half a bottle of Wild Turkey American Honey, which is so much sugar, so bad for you. And then I would co-write with my drunk self. This was not one of those, but I did sit in that mirror on this occasion and confess a lot of things. I don't know why I felt like confessing that day, but anyhow, this song is called Grace. Today's drink of choice, ginger ale on ice, and I put too much ice in it. Cool. Forgot the first line. Got it. Well, I stole road signs when I was in high school. There's parties my folks still don't know about. Started smoking when I was 18 and didn't quit until last June. And if I hadn't told you now, you'd have never found out. And I was too dumb to be scared in college. And I was reckless with the love I gave away. And then I dropped out my last year to finish my degree. What it's like to catch a dream. So it well may be that I used up all my grace. There might not be nothing for me in the end. But if Peter asks me, did I enjoy my ride? I'll say yes, even if he won't let me in. I'll say yes, even if you won't let me in. I tangle with some hearts that I shouldn't. I'm acquainted with the skin of my teeth. And I can't tell you how often I should have crashed and burned, but something keeps me right here on my feet. If it wasn't for my hard-working daddy and a mama whose prayers just don't quit, I'd be locked up for 6 feet under this old ground. And I'm glad they ain't give up on me yet. Oh, it well may be that I've used up all my grace. Might not be nothing for me in the end. But if the good Lord tells me I've kept him entertained, just for that, he might let me come on in. Just for laughs, he might let me come on in. Grace. All right, let's take the last couple of questions. This comes from Leslie. Have you discovered anything about yourself that has surprised you during quarantine? Yeah, a few things. I've said it before, I didn't realize I liked chocolate almond milk this much. I didn't realize that grilled cheeses and like peanut butter and jellies were still like a staple when things go down. That's what I'm gonna go for. Even though I've been on a hot dog kick the last few days. Not the best gastro decision you could make. It's really hard on your stomach. I also learned that part of how I identify, out in the world and how I identify to myself is because I play music on the road, and not doing that like super screws with your brain. So if you're stuck in your house and you're not able to go do the things that help you identify as a person, give yourself some room here and try to fight that off, because that is brutal. And also doing things like Cooped Up, being live with you, being able to interact with you, read your questions, being able to send you set lists after the set in line, and reminds me who I am. The last question comes from Kay. What is the meaning behind the handshake and the moose ears before you go on stage? Now, everybody in the band has their own handshake. Those have developed over time. Matt Helmkamp is our lead guitar player, and his nickname is Moose. I still don't know why his nickname is Moose. I have some ideas, but he had that nickname before he got to us. And so he and I do moose ears, and that's our high five. And then Dana Johnson has to do everybody's handshakes in the whole band, and then she has to do the 4 or 5 that we have developed over time. Anytime something would happen, like Lainey Wilson was on the road with us, we now have a handshake that's just for Lainey Wilson. Our friend of house guy hurt his arm one time. We have a handshake that's just for Alex hurting his arm. It's one of the things that is really constant before we get on stage. Like, I'll freak out if we don't get to do that. Also, we'll have a bad show if we don't get to do that. It's one of those things that's really special. It's just like right before the show, we need to clear the room about 20 minutes before the show so we can just be a band and then do our handshakes. And we sing all kinds of silly songs. One of the things I miss about playing before, the way it was before I was touring all the time, was I was always looking at songs to learn. I was always looking for some song to figure out. And I don't do that as much because I don't have the time. But I also have just gotten lazy about it. So thanks to the Brandy Clark record, I'm doing that. But my good friend Farron Rachel's put out a song today, and I was lucky to sing the harmonies on it. I was happy that she let me do all the harmonies on it because I love harmonies. And this was written by Nicolette Hayford, Jake Mitchell, and Haley Witters, which is another good record. If you don't have Haley Witters' record, you should have that. This might go poorly. I don't know. I'm not Farron Rachel's. I can't sing it like her. But right before I hit live, I'm going to figure this out. All right, so this is Farron Rachel's new tune. If you're not hip to her, you need to be. It's called Smoke. Okay, here it goes. Well, I go to bed early now. Do my drinking on the couch. It's what you do when you're happy. And he brings out the best side of me, the only side he's ever seen. He says he wants to meet my daddy. He don't even know that I smoke, that I can't stand his favorite band. I'm trying like hell to give a damn, hoping I'll change my mind, trying to buy a little time. He's falling fast now, how am I supposed to tell him my heart's still a little bit broke? you got to check her out. And that brings us to the end of All Cooped Up. So thank you for your questions. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for caring that any of us artists are doing live streams at all. Thank you for being my tribe and my family. If you're out there on the front lines, and I know phase 1 is coming out for Tennessee, please be careful. Continue to wear a mask. Practice social distancing. Guys, let's try to be healthy and be here for each other in the future. This is the part where I get really close to the phone and try to figure